Hey there, I'm Nancy, and welcome to my kitchen. Today we are baking a delicious fall treat. It is a pumpkin cream cheese Danish. And so if you are ready, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, and let's get to baking. We're going to combine the flour, sugar, salt, and yeast into a medium bowl. Add the egg, milk, and water, mix, forming a shaggy dough. Turn the dough out onto a lightly floured surface and knead gently for about 1 minute. You want it to be cohesive with no patches of dry flour remaining. When you touch the dough, it should spring back, but it won't be completely smooth. We're going to cover the dough and refrigerate it for at least 5 hours or overnight. So for the butter block, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to form a pliable block of butter by placing the butter on an unfloured surface and pounding it with the rolling pin until it's a consistency of molding clay. You're going to work quickly to mold the butter into a smooth, flat 5-inch square. Now we are going to do the step that we call the lock-in, where we, on a lightly floured surface, we're going to gently degas the dough and roll it into a 6-inch square. Once we have our 6-inch square, we are going to brush away the excess flour and place the butter in the center of the dough, turning it at a 45-degree angle so it looks like a diamond on a square. Finally, we're going to work clockwise, folding the corners of the dough over the butter, one section at a time so it's completely enclosed. Seal the butter by pressing the dough together at the seams. Perform a letter fold, brushing away the excess flour. Cover and refrigerate the dough for 20 minutes. Repeat the process of rolling and folding the dough one more time. After 20 minutes, place the dough on a lightly floured surface with the seam side up and folded edge to your left. Tap the dough a few times with the rolling pin to make the butter more pliable, then roll the dough out into an 8x16 rectangle. Now we're going to perform another letter fold, then cover the dough and refrigerate for 45 minutes. Repeat the process of rolling and folding the dough one more time. Cover and let fully laminated dough rest for at least 5 hours or overnight in the refrigerator before we're going to shape the pastries. So now that our dough has rested for at least 5 hours, we're going to place a chilled dough on a lightly floured work surface or a pastry mat, tap it down, and roll into an 8.5 by 16.5 rectangle. Using a ruler or a pastry wheel, mark the dough and trim and cut into 8 4-inch squares. Shape each square into a desired shape. Some of the classic shapes are round, pinwheel, and diamond. I am going to go ahead and do the round, where I am picking up each corner and meeting it in the middle and pressing it down to make our little circle. Now we are going to cover the pastries. I'm going to use another cookie sheet and just flip it over top and let them rise in a warm spot until they're visibly puffy and kind of feel like a marshmallow. Depending on the temperature of your room, this can take 1 to 2 hours. So for our filling, I'm going to make a cream cheese filling. And the first thing I'm going to do is, in the bowl of my stand mixer, cream together the cream cheese and sugar until it's smooth. Then I'm going to mix in the vanilla and egg yolk, and then we're just going to keep this in the fridge until we're ready to fill our pastries. For the pumpkin filling, I'm going to mix together the pumpkin puree, not pumpkin pie filling, brown sugar, vanilla, cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, cloves, and 1 egg. And you're just going to mix it all together. It's going to become kind of like a pumpkin butter, and that's what we're going to put on top as well. And you're just going to leave that in the fridge until we're ready to fill the pastry. So now that our pastry has risen, we are going to gently press down the center of each pastry, and this is going to make a cavity for our filling. For each of the pastries, you're going to use about a tablespoon of the cream cheese filling, and then about half a tablespoon to a tablespoon of the pumpkin filling, depending on how much you like the pumpkin flavor. Next, we're going to do our egg wash. So we're going to whisk together egg and water and then gently brush it on the Danish. And you just want to get it on all the dough that you can see. Now we're going to bake our Danish for about 18 to 22 minutes until they're deeply golden brown. And you're going to remove them from the oven once they're the color you want them to be, and transfer them onto a rack to cool slightly while you make the glaze. For the glaze, I just mixed together powdered sugar and milk to a consistency that I liked. It ended up being a little bit runny, but next time I'd make it a little bit thicker. But otherwise, I think they turned out great. I'm just going to use a fork or spoon and just drizzle it on the pastry. And they turned out so good. Nice and crisp and has good layers. So I hope you give them a try. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and baking. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And I would love if you hit that red subscribe button and joined my little internet family here. For the holidays, I've got a lot more baking videos coming up, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, happy baking, friends. Bye.